Hello. Hello. I'm back with a brief update in the saga of planning the Ina in a Year project. This will be a little briefer than the first two, but I do feel like it's time to share some of the things that have happened in the process. Most importantly, I want to say that I have done a complete high, low, almost as high leveling out emotional cycle since I recorded last. Here's what happened. Got really excited about the project first. Then we embarked on planning it, and we're planning it as though we're going to execute it so that we can get an accurate picture of what the process would require. That has been very eye-opening. We started doling out the menus to the seasons, and I, for the first time 2 weeks ago, had an accurate representation of what a week would look like. These are the menus. They have been assigned. Here's an example of all the weeks. I wanted to cry. It's a lot. It's a lot of cooking. And the way we had structured it, this is the other key thing to tell you. We were assuming that I would be executing all the dinners in our home every week. My husband and I had a realization that that is not even a little bit possible. I do have the experience. For a season in my life, I cooked dinner 5 nights a week. So I know what that's like. I know what it's like to cook dinner every night of the week, and I did it by choice and I loved it. We can't do that in our current stage of life. We looked at that and thought, there's no way. I really got down in the dumps about it. I really felt like, well, this is a no. Like, if our family can't do this, and I think I said this last time, like, sure, I could ask this of my husband and my family, but I don't want to. If we can't fold this in to the life of our family in a way that makes sense within some certain limits and boundaries, then this project is a no. So I really left that kind of week of looking at all the menus and drinking it in. I really thought this is a no. In fact, I'm not gonna say this out loud to anyone else yet. I don't think this is gonna happen. I will tuck this away and pull it back out maybe when a couple of our kids are off at college and it makes more sense, but I really thought I'm gonna have to wait on this. I still may have to wait on this. We're TBDing that. I just couldn't leave it alone. I could not get it out of my head. It kept kind of like itching in my consciousness all the time, and I finally was like, fine, let me take it out and look at it again. And I began to ask a different question. I said, what would we be willing to give? What can we say yes to? I had a number in my head, and I asked my husband, and our number was the same. The answer to the question, how many nights a week could our family devote to this project, is 3. 1 weekend night and then 2 weeknight dinners. Well, that solved the problem for our family, but then there were these 2 other menus on average per week that were not accounted for. And I needed to figure out a way to continue to execute these menus to stay within the year parameter, but not to bring that home. So the question became, how can we spend 2 menus and not bring it home? And this is the solution that I came up with. We are thinking toward doing 1 menu a week in the Hurley House kitchen for the benefit of our staff. Mostly kind of one-pot wonders, some sort of soup or stew or something that kind of simmers for a while or bakes in the oven and isn't like a typical protein and 2 sides that needs a lot of last-minute attention. And that, for the most part, with a few exceptions, that has worked out pretty well on paper. And then that last menu, we are talking about having a weekly Ina lunch at the store for which people could purchase tickets and come and eat. Every week I would cook a 3-course meal and serve it as lunch to people who have purchased tickets to be there. Number 1, it generates some revenue for the project, which takes the number that we need to raise down a little bit. Number 2, we can use this as an incentive for people who do choose to sponsor portions of this project. 3, you can come eat some of the food, and I think that's really fun. I think it would be great to grab a friend or a couple of friends and say, let's sign up to go eat the Ina lunch on a Thursday in September or whatever day we end up ending up doing it. But it's just really a new fun avenue for one of the menus to potentially get checked off the list. So with that pivot of the plan, the smile has returned to my heart a little bit in regards to this project, thinking, well, maybe my family can stay intact. Maybe we can open this up to the public. Maybe we can serve our staff. Maybe we can do this. It has been an emotional roller coaster, more than I anticipated. I think it probably will continue to be that way. And now it's time to think about how are we going to raise the money for this. I'll probably talk about that in the next little chapter.